Ah. Dum 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 dum. Bam. Bam.
What's Shazam? Shazam?
Bada bada bing bang or something. Ah. Haha. Oh.
I agree.
So much to do, so little time to do it in.
I don't know. Where'd they go?
What in God's name are you trying to do, son?
I lost one of my pair of slippers. Don't ask me how, because like there's not many places they could have gone, but yet I seem to have lost them because I'm a man of mad skills.
I think your mic's doing that thing again.
What was it doing?
It's like muffling a little bit when you get loud.
Son of a monkey dick. Hold on. Windows. Fuck you.
Such language.
Yeah, what? Yo, is that any better?
There you go. Yep.
I don't know why. Like, so by default, it goes to 100, and I changed it to 75, and it seems happier.
Yep.
I don't know why. Like, let's see. Okay, it's still 75. I don't know why it loses settings. Basically, it's weird.
I don't know the answer either, sir.
What do you know, sir?
All right, just for shits and giggles, because I know my computer's weird as hell. I have 7:59 on my computer.
Dude!
Am I still on time this time?
Dude!
Sweet.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing.
You too can know the time.
Hurrah! Let me take a big old gulp of my drink.
What the crap?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get my Firefox tab out of the Z-Way.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let me get you. Let me get you.
Trying to limber up here.
Stretch
here.
Gonna do some
there.
calisthenics for the audience. I do approve, good sir.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that
a good show.
Ready to go in all the ways. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, that's what she likes it too, that way.
That's, I don't know how I feel about
she
that.
She likes you nice and limber, I hear. That's what I've been told.
Oh boy. Okay, with that, let's hit the record button.
That could have been your new ringtone, sir.
Oh boy. All right, here we go. We're gonna mute Zelius. I'm gonna mute myself. Then we'll go.
It's good practice.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Disjointed Fusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Yo, it is good to be back because last Thursday I felt naked and unalive.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific Connor himself, Zelius.
It is good to see you here, good sir, in the world of the Alt Confusion Tubes.
But of course, ladies and gentlemen, what Zelius is alluding to is that last Thursday I was at Chattacon. So I'll fill you in on all the details in just a second. But I do want to tell everyone this is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show. We try our best to cover all the topics most important to you. If you have an additional topic or question that you would like to add to the show, please utilize the chat and we will add it to the show. If we do unfortunately run out of time, that topic or question will be added to the very next show. Also, I would like to also put out there that if you have any thoughts or comments or critical criticisms, wow, that's terrible, you can also put them in the chat and we will, of course, talk about them during the show. So,
indeed,
let's start off with the fact that last Thursday I went up to Chattacon, which is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattacon for me is kind of, I like to think of it as a buddy convention. It's a small convention. I think they had about 350 people show up. So, and it's the kind of convention that anyone from the guests of honor all the way down to first-time attendee can just you can find them just chilling and talking about anything and everything. Mostly centered around probably like literary things like books. But there's some video games. The video games just started to creep up. Huh?
I'm not cool enough to read, man. Don't you know?
Well, I mean, I met two authors. I interviewed one of them. So be on the lookout for one of the interviews. And I bought books from both of them.
Of course.
One was
autographed.
Huh? Yes, of course.
Autographed.
Yes. One was B.L. Blankenship, and the other one was Dave Schrader. Um, and to be honest, I really like Chattacon for a couple reasons. I like because it's a smaller convention. And that's kind of what I need after getting severely shell shocked from MomoCon last year. And also, there's I don't know, it's just a fun time. There's not a lot of pressure on anyone. I ended up doing I ended up hosting my own panel, video game shit for the good question mark, and then I also was a moderator for two additional panels, one revolving around virtual tabletop, and the other one revolving around PC and consoles, enemies, or enemies, frenemies, or friends. Um, so, and then of course I went to quite a few.
PC Master Race, bro.
So okay, so here's the thing. I do want to bring up a couple things, and I think, and I brought this up in the panel about the enemies, frenemies, or friends. Um, I think for the most part, in the perfect gamer world, console and PC should have some sort of like relationship because cross-platform play is a really nice feature.
Is it?
Yes, it is when done correctly.
Do you really want to be playing like the same PC and console people in Overwatch? That seems like a terrible idea.
Well, look, there's like when you're playing Final Fantasy 11, PC or your console, that's not too bad of a deal, is it?
I'd say MMOs are the exception.
Like, MMOs, but I mean, there's the thing is, I think my biggest thing is that I think because the end of like super exclusive games where you have games that are capable or have an online component, I would like to see some sort of cross-platform play. Another example is Warframe.
Yeah.
I think they finally instituted cross-platform play. I think
it is cross-platform.
yeah, it originally wasn't, but in my personal opinion, when I think cross-platform for me, what would be intriguing for me is that if your account is accessible across platforms,
so cross-save,
but also the ability to play cross-platform. So you
now,
still
cross-save would be nice,
yeah,
especially for like PVE type of games, 100%.
Or especially for free-to-play games.
Yeah. Like I think it's Hogwarts Legacy is already confirmed it's not cross-save.
Okay.
Which, to your point, though, like we know it's coming on the consoles and the PC.
Yeah.
And I can kind of understand like a PvP type of game. I can understand either way. Like, okay, either way you want to go, there's pros and cons to each.
Right.
But if you're purely a particularly single player game, I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just make a cross save. Like, I mean, all the Shadows of Mordor games, I'm pretty sure those aren't cross save. So I agree. It would be nice. But a lot of developers obviously don't still want to do it for, I don't know if it's a technical limitation where it's, they're deciding differently for each platform up front. If it's like a strategic choice that they make or like kind of what the reasoning is, but it's still not the norm. If anything, it's online games have it. And even then it's not across the board. It's kind of random.
Well, to be honest with you, I believe for the longest, I don't know if they've finally changed their stance on this, but for the longest time, Sony wants nothing to do with cross-platform. They're like, if you play a game on our system and you want to play online, you play other people on our system.
Like, I would love if Destiny was cross-save. Like, if Destiny 2, if I could pull up my, you know what? Actually, no, Destiny 2 is cross-save. It's, what I'm getting mixed up is you have to buy it multiple times.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Now I'm totally okay with that. If that's what it takes, like if I need a cut, I don't. If it's something that I have to pay for up front, and then I have, and then I want to play it on a different platform, and I'm totally okay with buying it again as long as I don't lose my progress across.
Yeah, so Destiny 2 is cross save, and that was
Okay.
nice because I was able to take my old player from PC when it first came out
Mhm.
and jump onto the PS5. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, and that also incentivizes, I would think, players, because I think the opposite would be true. If I played it on the PC and I had this character I invested all these hours into, and I see it comes out on PlayStation 5,
Mhm.
if I know I have to restart basically that character from scratch, I think it severely limits the chance that I'm going to now pick that up on a different console. So that's kind of would be my argument for it is I'm more likely to play on multiple platforms versus no platforms.
Right. Well, I mean, if it's a game that requires like a substantial amount of grind, that would definitely stop me from restarting it on another platform if I have
Yeah.
to start from the beginning.
And that's where I think like the MMO like Final Fantasy 14 does so well is it is cross save slash platform slash all that stuff. So, if you want to spend all the money of expansions, you can play on PC and PS5. Um, it's funny because every year I feel like there's like a rumor it's going to come to the Xbox, and I don't think it's ever coming to the Xbox.
Eh, you never
That'd
know.
be cool. I mean, it should. Why not? Um, and I think I personally think the whole like, PC versus console from gamers, it's more of a meme than anybody actually means it.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you have the 1% of elitists for either way. Like you're always gonna have the stupid asshat who really means PC master race, man. I think the overwhelming majority of gamers are just like, dude, enjoy it however you can. It really doesn't matter.
I think also that because basically most consoles and PCs are at the same level now,
Mm,
so and also the architectures become very, very similar for like hardware and stuff.
I would
Um,
agree, but we still have exclusives. Those seem to still be.
well, I would say they're more timed exclusives than exclusive exclusives. I think you get unless you're a true first party studio, which there's not a lot of those
True.
left. Um, then it's usually like, yeah, we'll put this out on the PlayStation for 5 months, and then the Xbox is coming, or the Switch is coming, or the PC is coming.
I think it seems like it's more console and then PC.
Yeah.
Like the God of Wars aren't on Xbox, but they're in PC. The Final Fantasies are on PlayStation 5 and then they eventually come to PCs. So it seems like what's happened is it's more of a trend of console first and then eventually matriculate to the P if it's a console exclusive.
Right.
And then eventually make it to the PC. So I think it's probably more from Sony's side.
Yeah.
At this point. Um, yeah, because Xbox, at least for now, has to play nice if they want to get their whole merger thing.
But God only knows where that's going to go at this point, because I've heard that the European Union is actually thinking about striking it down. So should be fun.
The funny thing to me is Sony is so against it, which I can understand why.
Mm-hmm.
But by the same token, Sony has also built a cachet by buying out other companies.
Yep.
So and I don't care about the hypocrisy of it, but it's also be careful what you wish for.
Mm-hmm.
So, say it gets axed, and all of a sudden, 3 years from now, Sony wants to buy a development company. That's going to go well at that point.
Yeah.
You're
Well, I
like,
mean, you're
wait a second.
yeah, you're setting precedent.
Exactly. So, in a way, if I'm Sony, I'm kind of like, the problem is if it does get struck down, that kind of kills I mean, that's what Sony's done.
Yeah.
Over the last number of years. So that'd be kind of interesting to see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Now, just to touch on the other panel I moderated on the virtual tabletop thing.
Oh yeah.
As when COVID hit, virtual tabletop software became a hot commodity, so you could continue to play your campaigns, be it in Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons, whatever. But of course, at the same time, there were a lot of limitations that have been fixed. since the inception of things like Roll20 and Foundry are the two popular ones. But I found it interesting that there's a problem that is presented its ugly head, and that's the fact that Hasbro, which owns Wizards of the Coast, which owns Dungeons and Dragons, is basically trying to put homebrews down
I was gonna say
violently.
you picked a very interesting time to have that panel.
Yes, well, that actually came up a lot because Wizards of the Coast is creating their own type of virtual tabletop thing, so that you have to,
D&D
if that's,
Beyond, I think is what it's
yeah,
called.
you have to use that if you want to continue to do that. Which that I understand the business mood, but you are really pissing off like 85-90% of your audience by doing this.
I think the problem, I think I've heard a lot of commentary about the whole OGL, Open Gaming License, the new like 1 point whatever it is, and
Yep.
the overwhelming consensus seems to be, yes, Hasbro is right. There's more money right now to be made, but the problem that they're missing is tabletop gamers are pretty hardcore.
Yep.
Meaning they will go to where they want to with their product. And so, if a GM has put, a lot of GMs put decades into creating their own homebrews for D&D, but they're so into it where if all of a sudden there's these like weird moral ambiguity obligations, they will go to Pathfinder or something else.
Yep.
By and large, and I think that's the point that the bean counters, it's not like Madden, right? Like Madden, people just continue to buy Madden every year, and I know we mock it all the time in the show, but the reality is it works.
It works because it's got exclusivity.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but it does. But the problem with that I think the Hasbro execs are missing is it's such a different market than your normal market of the people who play tabletop games, where if you screw over your gamers, because it's very much a word of mouth type of community, meaning you want your friends to speak well of this game. If they don't speak well of D&D and they're now speaking well of Pathfinder, they're going to all move to Pathfinder. So I think that's the long-term issue with this whole thing that's going on is it's more of a culture than it is just a product.
Right.
And if you kill that culture, your DMs in game, I mean, we've already seen, like every year I go Dragon Con, I feel like I see more and more Pathfinder tables. I mean, D&D is obviously still the king, but it's not like there aren't other options in the marketplace.
Right. Exactly.
And other company, and like the company, I can't remember the name, who behind Pathfinder is already committed to basically a irrevocable open gaming license for their product.
Yep.
So it can, and that's the other big issue with this whole OGL is they're basically trying to revoke the previous license that's all done under. And there was actually a comment, I think it was on ours, Technica, take it with a grain of salt, but supposedly a Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro employee posted, anonymously obviously,
of course,
that like most situations, the company sees the negative feedback, so they pull it back. But there's been comments made by the execs where they're literally just waiting for the fur to die down.
Of course.
And once it does, they're not the first and they won't be the last company to do this. And once it dies down, they'll try again, or they'll chip away slowly, and chip away slowly. And I think that's where most people are at. Like once they've let the genie out of the bottle, it's going to happen. It might not be today. It might be 10 years from now, but it's going to happen. And the big problem is the online community, because so many people play virtual tabletop games, whatever gaming system they're using. So many people have moved permanently to the online gaming community versus just in person.
Right. Well, I mean, the using virtual tabletop software definitely has its advantages because you can then pull in a ton of people from different areas. It does make things a little bit harder to control individuals in the game, especially if someone tries to derail a campaign. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I find anybody out there who has a system that is close to Dungeons and Dragons like Pathfinder, their smartest move is to say, "Hey, game on, man. Just we'll do things the way it's supposed to be done because we love you guys."
Well, I think that's what the non-actual Dungeons and players at Hasbro missed the entire point is D&D is as popular as it is precisely because of the homebrew community.
Yep.
If it was restricted just to what you can buy at Barnes and Nobles for the monster manual and that stuff,
Mhm.
it wouldn't be that popular. It's because of all the extra, sweat and blood and tears that these people put into creating the homebrews and the modules and all the other work that goes into it, which, by the way, means they also have to buy the content in the first place. I mean, it's not like they're not buying D&D content to be able to create homebrews. They're all
Right.
still buying all of the D&D manuals and then doing this stuff on top of that. So it's not like they're magically losing sales out of it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's a very unhappy community to say the least.
I agreed. So, just kind of like a topic did come up during that panel, and I wanted to ask your preference on this. A lot of people with this move to virtual tabletop have been wanting more manuals to be just a PDF form instead of having to deal with the physical, usually humongous books. Do you have a preference?
Books.
I agree. I like the books. I like to feel like skimming through the pages, and also, in my honest opinion, I always feel like there's no way for me to put the entire page on my computer screen, and when it's in PDF form. So and rule books and all this stuff. They are notorious for having like 2, maybe even 3 columns of like text and stuff. So when it wraps around, I got to scroll right back up to the top of the page and then all that.
And I have 2 problems. One,
Yep.
I hate reading on the PC.
Mhm.
Like, it's just not an enjoyable experience to me. Probably with peak because like PDFs to me are still generally speaking a terrible user experience.
Mhm.
Like it's just not good. The second problem I have is I find when it comes because I've tried virtual tabletops.
Mhm.
My problem is I have a terrible attention span when it comes to being on the PC. Meaning, like, I find it very hard not to multitask on the PC. Um, so I mean, it's like so easy to have like, let's just say Fantasy Grounds or Foundry front and center,
Mhm.
but to the side I have 13 tabs open on Reddit and Facebook and other stuff.
Right.
And there's something still about that in-person interaction with tabletops that just make it a better gaming experience to me. Of any kind of tabletop RPG to me is still just better in person because like you're there, you're invested in the moment, and it's like even like when like you're going and the mimic is attacking you and you're figuring out what to do. It's still like watching your body language and what you're gonna do and thinking and what is the GM thinking and there's just different elements that go on in an in-person tabletop that I just feel like this is a little bit on the virtual and certainly virtual tabletops have their places. I totally get it. And it's where the future is going. But I greatly still prefer the in-person tabletop games because of that human element. And frankly, because it's much easier to turn off my cell phone and I'm not on my PC, so I'm not distracted by other stuff. I'm just home on a virtual tabletop. I get distracted too easily.
I totally agree. I think it's the same for me. It's the same thing as trying to do a virtual convention. I get so easily distracted that even if I have like the best attention to attend this panel or that panel, I could just lose track of time. And next thing I know, that panel's already gone. Whereas if I'm in person, that's it. I'm not trying to multitask. I don't have a bunch of other distractions around me. When I'm at the convention, it's the convention. Where and with the same thing as the tabletop, I'm right in the same boat as you, Zelius. When if I'm doing a virtual tabletop, and because I have at least an extra monitor there, there's shit that's definitely non-game related happening on the other monitor. I could be reading emails. I could be, browsing Facebook or Polygon or Kotaku or trying to update Alta Confusion or rendering a video. And so I can't focus solely on that game experience. Now, a cool thing that I found out about, I think it's Roll20, is they have something called dynamic lighting, which allows for your characters can only see so many squares away. And so you, as the DM, you can set stuff up and like, you can set up where enemies are going to be and all that stuff prior to the session so that you can do like the ambush special attacks and you don't have to all of a sudden remember, oh shit, that square was supposed to have somebody, but you've already gone through the entire room, so I missed my opportunity to ambush you.
Interesting. All right, so I have a question for you related to mostly virtual tabletops.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on free versus paying somebody to DM a game for you? So the reason I've asked is like when I played some virtual tabletops and I was looking for groups, there's a lot of debate over, DM, like advertising basically of DMs, some free, and then some, you pay that DM to do it for you. And I just thought it was a really interesting idea. Like, I mean, I get it because they're putting in a lot of time and effort and work, and a lot of them, they're doing the research. Kind of like in your point, like if you're doing Roll20 and they're setting up, I mean, it's not like you literally just show up to a good DM, I should say. It's not like you're literally just showing up for the first time with no prep work.
Right.
A lot of these guys and gals are putting in tons of work into it.
Yeah, I think totally I can understand paying for a DM when it comes to virtual tabletop, simply because there is a lot of stuff you got to do behind the scenes. Like you may need to, depending on the system that you have, you may need to add additional lines of code in order to do specific things. You may have to upload the spells that are going to be available for the game, the creatures and all their statistics, the maps you have to put all in and set them all up. So there is a lot of stuff. If you are not truly computer literate and no one on if you're supposed to be the DM and you're not computer literate, I don't know if you want a DM you want to pay for a DM to run it for you, but you may want to pay someone to make sure that everything that's needed to run a campaign successfully is in place. Which is, I think, which one of the guys in the panel actually, he actually pays for someone to help set up everything. Just like the groundwork. Well, once it's in there, he can edit the maps or whatever. But all the different modules about the types of spells, the type of items, all that stuff, because you're starting with a blank canvas and then you're having to import all the pieces of the game that you don't even think about when you're playing in person. So, yeah. I think I might have lost Zelius. Either that or he is staring me down in a spooky way. And if that's the case, good on you, sir. Good on you. Anywho, so while we wait for Zelius to come back, I hope Zelius comes back. Yep, and he's gone. And there is Zelius back.
There we go. Because the one other reason people had was then you get commitment out of your players.
Right.
Because what a lot of DMs were finding is if it was free, like let's just call it free to play, is people weren't as committed to coming. So they put in, I'm just making up numbers, 5 hours of work into a session and only 2 out of your 4 players would show up.
Yep.
So that was like one of the other arguments. I was like, okay, I can actually understand that because that'd be frustrating. where you put all this work in and all of a sudden, your gamers aren't showing up would probably kind of tick me off.
Yes, yes, it definitely would for me. But then again, when I was running games, it was a complete homebrew system, and I needed people. Well, actually, that's not technically true because way back in the day, I actually set up some chat rooms and ran some Crystals of Prion through chat rooms.
Oh, nice.
That was back in the Storm Loader days.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I still have like screenshots of that somewhere.
It's archived. I've found it a couple times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Stormloader. The good old days of our free websites.
Yep. So I do want to. I'm sure that the individuals who bought into the system are fully aware. But for those who weren't, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 100% official. The Stadia is dead.
No, I just got mine last night.
I guess on the next Chrome update, they'll remove the Stadia option off of my my window or my taskbar. Though I never actually used the Stadia.
I never got it.
I tried Amazon Luna for a little bit, and that was cool, but I was like, okay. I ended up playing like this, just like putt game.
I still think at some point the whole streaming game thing will be a thing.
Yeah.
It's just before its time. Although I'd be interested to see if it's kind of a paradox though, because in a way, let's just say VR does become more popular. I know we've been saying that for the last decade.
But PlayStation's trying to really push it right now.
Exactly. So let's just say VR starts taking off. Like, you're probably not going to do VR over a virtual, basically, console, because that's basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you can't have that latency with VR.
No.
So it'd be kind of like, it's almost paradoxical where, like, if we get more into VR, it actually limits the capability of the virtual gaming environment, like what Stadia and Luna are trying to push. But
right.
Yes, I have my I'll admit I have my PS2 VR. It's already been pre-ordered and purchased and all that good stuff. So I'm ready to play Madden 2023 and feel like I'm getting smashed in the face by Johnny Bosa.
Yeah, it's Joey Bosa, by the way.
Joey Bosa.
There's no Johnny Bosa.
He's my younger brother, man.
He's the twin you don't know about.
Yeah, I actually need to figure out what games I need to get for it, but that's okay.
Well, Sony just released like a lineup of games they're going to be releasing along with that VR.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like you've always said, though, is the biggest problem that you've had with VR is the gaming library. And it seems like when VR devices, be it the PS or the Oculus Rift and all these, like when they first come out, there's always like this initial wave of like, we have these games to come out. The question is, 6 months or a year from now, is that still going to be the case?
Right.
And that seems to always be what happens is right up front, it's like, dude, this is cool. There's these like 4 fantastic games. Because that's always the case. Like there's always the great launch games.
Yep.
But does it persist? Like the next, I don't know, if there was a Zelda for PlayStation, there's obviously not. But if there was Zelda on PlayStation, would that still be made like for the VR? Like something like that, that's really going to kind of push the needle. That's to be curious to see is, are you going to continue to have a push from developers and Sony to release games, not just for launch day? Well, we will see.
Yes. And this is something that we've agreed on and we've talked about a lot. After that initial, launch of the VR ready games, the fact of the matter is it's expensive to add a VR feature, and even those early games, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to try to, get in early to get that extra money, because VR will be that hot thing. And VR in those games will probably be just slapped on there just so they qualify for the VR tag.
Well, the one game I know I will be getting is Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I know it's not called 2. There's like a tagline to it.
Right.
That is for VR. So that'll be my day one, I guess, purchase. So it'll be like, okay, actual AAA title on the VR. Hopefully it doesn't make me nauseous and throw up within the first 3 minutes. If it is, I'll be kind of pissed.
I will keep my fingers crossed for you, Zelius. How about that?
Maybe I'll take some Dramamine before I play it.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't know if that'll actually help with VR, to be honest.
Guess there's only one way to find out.
Alcohol and Dramamine. What could go wrong?
Oh yeah. Let's heighten the effects.
It would open my eye capillaries for more awesomeness.
Or would it cause a paradoxical effect, and now you've got the worst case of vertigo known to man?
Oh dear.
Like literally, if you tilt to one side, you fall to the ground. Oh no!
Oh no! I just fell into my fireplace. That's no good.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break to thank the amazing individuals that help Ultra Confusion out. These are the friends of the show. Those, like I said, amazing individuals that, allow Ultra Confusion to be Ultra Confusion with their love and support. So to start it off, let's go with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we gotta give is to Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next one up is an individual who's actually at my house today to help get some of those aches and pains out of my back, and that, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now I'm going to have to take a quick pause because I lost my my friends of the show list. So you're going to have to give me 1 second because I was just literally reading off of an old copy. So, uno momentos. I think I know where it is, but Zelius, talk for a second.
Do you want me to tell? I know who the next friend of the show is. Do you want me to tell the audience?
No, I know who the next friend of the show is. It's going to be Crosspad Creative, but I don't remember what exactly I'm supposed to say about Crosspad Creative because I can't find my list. And I apologize.
Supposed to talk about how they created our song because we had a copyright snafu with the evil overlords. And so they stepped in to create a non-copyrighted version of our cover song so that we can grace you with the opening song every show.
Aha, I found it. Okay, so the official thing is, need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Ultra Confusion. Crosspad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. By the way,
that did sound better than mine.
By the way, it had fallen off my desk and was basically hiding behind my tower. So that's what
No,
happened.
why did
Yep.
you run
I
away?
don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last one we got to give is to the person who has been the patron the longest. That is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and a system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophies of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. And by the way, I took my second Agile class, and this time I scored 100 on the test, so nana boo boo.
Are you a white or yellow belt yet?
No, I'm not there yet. But I'm getting close
Nice.
to all that wonderful stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
If anything, it looks wonderful on a resume.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to, I know that everyone out there is dying to know, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, I'm happy to tell you that Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, vampires, mummies, Loch Ness monsters, and supporters, and much more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently, we have 2 different tiers. We have the $1 tier, that's $1 a month or $12 a year. And what that will get you is early access to all of playthroughs, as well as the ability to take part in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little bit spicy, what you could do is you could jump up to the $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. And not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization in the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/altered confusion. All right. I said that I was going to sign up for Extra Life, and I have not, unfortunately, because things have been busy or crazy. But as soon as I have re-registered for Extra Life, we'll give you that information.
Nice.
But if you are interested in making your own Extra Life team or become a single participant, just go to extra-life.org and you can sign up today.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right back into the stories here. The first one, this just makes my skin crawl and my stomach want to basically leave my body, and that is Mountain Dew has announced a limited time, thank God, a limited time, limited edition Mountain Dew Baja Blast hot sauce.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. How's that supposed to actually work?
I don't know. Baja Blast is the most disgusting flavor that I've ever come across, and now you're going to make it hot.
They wanted to make it even better.
Or worse. Baja Blast tastes like medicine. Now it's going to be spicy medicine?
It's going to be even better medicine? Yeah.
And also from the pictures that I've seen, the hot sauce is going to be colored Baja Blast.
I'm so confused.
It's like a bluish green. It's like a teal, and you're going to make it, you're going to put that on food? Yeah. I maybe you're trying to appeal to, colorblind kids. I don't know, but that stuff looks nasty.
Oh, maybe it's to chase down. Maybe it's like you do it before you drink your cough medicine because it can't be any worse.
I
here,
beg to
drink
differ.
this, Johnny. If you made it down with this, it only gets better.
I think that if you want to go that route, just, chomp down on a jalapeno and then take your medicine.
You know what I actually miss is Papa John's and the jalapenos that you get with the pizzas.
I get
And
them
now I
every
say
single
this because I
Friday.
haven't got at Papa John's pizza in forever, so I don't know if they actually still come with the jalapenos.
They do.
Oh man,
They do because we get it every single Friday in my house.
nice.
Yeah,
Hmm.
indeed. All right, so let's actually get on to a more serious topic. Um, this is the time of year where budgets are set and big companies decide that we can't afford everybody. So lots of big companies are laying off hundreds, if not thousands, of employees. Which, for those individuals who have been hit with that, I wish you the best of luck in finding a better studio or employer that will actually value your contributions to the company. Which that happens. It happens every single time.
Yeah, it does. It's never good, and it always sucks. Um, I feel like a little bit, especially in the market I work for.
Mhm.
I'm glad I already have a job because you have companies like Amazon and Microsoft laying off like tens of thousands of IT people.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, like it's tricky because on one hand, it's a good market to be looking if you're the IT employee because pay is good and work remotely and all that stuff. At the same time, you also have these companies laying off all these workers.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, all these job applications now have like 200 qualified applicants applying for the same job.
Yep.
So it's a little bit two-edged, and we're pretty much in a recession. So even companies that aren't laying off workers are probably going to be very much not really hiring a whole lot going forward. So not a most bueno time to probably, unfortunately, be a tech worker in that regard. Or let's be honest, really probably any worker right now kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because no matter what industry you're going to be into, a recession is going to hit you. It really doesn't matter what you do. So yeah, not fun times for anyone.
Just kind of hope that you're in a secure enough position that your company or your employer can weather the storm.
Very true.
Like my current employer, I'm probably not going to get a raise anytime soon, but I don't foresee them laying off huge chunks of my department either.
Well, it's always the tricky thing is because like the schools I've worked at before always had this dilemma of, do you lay people off and give people raises, or do you issue raises and not lay workers off?
Right.
And my impression is the majority of people are like, yeah, let's just kind of forego the raises and not lay people off. The tricky part is, does ownership use that as a rationale just to not give raises?
True.
How
How about ownership take a pay cut so you can pay your employees the correct amount?
it's tricky.
Yeah. There are individuals out there that do so much more work than the higher uppers, but they get paid like a fifth of the higher upper. Seniority rules.
It pays to be on top, right, bro?
Exactly. I wish I knew the feeling. Okay, so the final topic that I have is toxicity in games. What a new concept.
No, there's no toxicity in games.
Developers were a bunch of different developers were recently polled to talk about toxicity in online gaming. 85% of the surveys sent out came back saying yes, there is a high level of toxicity. And of those 85%, 70% of those individuals say that toxicity has spread not only from the players, but also to the actual employees that develop or work on said games.
Huh. That's interesting.
Now, you would think since I mean, obviously we've known for quite a while that there is some severe toxic problems with certain games. And I wish there was an easy solution, but there isn't.
Okay. In this case, if it's coming to the employees, there's actually a pretty easy solution.
What's that?
don't let them be toxic. If you're a toxic employee, fire them. I mean, I know that's kind of blasé, but at the same time, like, it's one thing. Like, we've talked a lot about the gamers in general and what to do about them
Mhm.
and what can you do. But like, if I'm your manager and you're being a toxic asshat, then I'm gonna be like, yo, dude, knock it off. This is not the place for that. Like, we're not in some e game where you need to show me your EP. Be a normal human being, or I'll find somebody who will be a normal human being. Like, it's two completely different circumstances. Like, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about like employees being toxic. Is there should be no, like, to me there should be no room for that.
No, I know, and I think maybe I misspoke here. I meant to say not that 70% of the workforce is toxic. I'm just saying that toxicity that gamers show each other, 70% of the time it extends to the actual developers. Like they go after the actual company.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Now that's not to
Unfortunately.
say there are not there are individuals in game companies that like to wear the god hat and think that they know everything and that everyone else is wrong. And
Well,
those
that's me. I
asshats,
know everything.
those
No one's
asshats need to go away, or at least keep their opinions to themselves.
go work in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Go stand in the corner until you learn your lesson. No, the thing is, Riot Games has probably been the most vocal about trying to figure out a way to deal with toxicity by creating an ever learning AI system. But at
Yep.
the end of the day, no company is ever going to do this. But at the end of the day, to truly combat that, you're going to need moderators who literally. But at the same time, how the hell do you? There's millions of gamers that could be flooding through your system. So how do you deal with that? And also, let's say that I'm not saying that you have a bunch of corrupt individuals who are watching over it, but let's say there are some corruptible moderators that, on the sly could be tempted to, act someone who is just a bad player instead of a toxic player because they got an extra, I don't know, $200 on the side.
It is a tough problem to counter. I mean, it seems like it would be the perfect test bed for a smart artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Kind of a way to almost build one. But the problem is what we've seen with any kind of AI environment is you're always going to have false positives.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you deal with those? And I would guess my real question is, are they actually doing anything about the false positives to actually then fix those after the fact?
Right. There would have to be a moderation of the AI's decisions.
And I think we've seen some platforms like Twitter, not Twitter, Twitch, do a pretty shit job of that.
Yes. Yes. But hell, even YouTube and Facebook. Because, I mean, I can't tell you how many DMCA hits we've had just on Facebook. And it doesn't happen on YouTube. It doesn't happen on Twitch, but it's just Facebook. And it's usually by the Universal Music Group. And it's usually for some random ass, like, apparently our voices or sounds that come out of our mouths cause copyright issues.
Is it my beautiful singing?
No, and please don't, because I can't afford to buy a new PC.
Oh, afraid it might blow out your speakers, your sound card will hear it and just like explode.
No, I'm afraid my computer will be like, nope, I'm done. Time for me to implode.
You always have the convention PC.
But I can't stream on that. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, no. No, that PC goes, no, nice. That's not going to work. The only way for me to stream if I wanted to stream something that's on the convention PC, I'd have to use my video capture card and actually stream it through my desktop. So that none of the streaming lifting is actually on that console. Though I did have to replace the battery.
The CMOS battery again.
Yep. Well, I actually had to replace it instead of trying to do the trick that usually you'd have to do with one of the problems with the Alienware Alpha is that from time to time that thing gets like unsynchronized. And so what you have to do is you have to unplug the battery for 10 minutes and plug it back in. And then then you have to hit, I think it's like F7 to go into the BIOS menu, and you go through there and fix everything, and then ta-da! But the battery had actually gone bad, so I had to buy a new one. Though they sent it, okay, if anyone's ever seen the size of the battery, it's tiny. It's like, I don't know, it's about the size of a dime. And I got it in like a 2 by 3 foot box. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I was like, is
So
there?
you open the box, it's like, is there anything in here?
It's an itty bitty little baggie that was stuck in one of the cardboard folds.
Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But anyways, yeah, I wish there was an easy solution to toxicity. I wish that people would just, follow Will Wheaton's philosophy of don't be a dick. But unfortunately, as long as someone's got a computer screen between them and the world, there are going to be individuals who can be complete and utter asshats. And, it's just, unfortunately, the way of things. And Zelius, your rendering has gone way down.
Okay, I saw me, and I didn't know if that was just like my Twitch feed or just me.
No, it's you.
Great, guys. I'm Captain Pixelated. I'm like a character out of Minecraft right now.
It's like, well, I just went from PlayStation 4 graphics down to PlayStation 2. Don't worry about it.
I'm a pointy polygon right now.
Yeah. So, when I was at Chattacon, I was reminded of a couple games that I played, and I had to think about it because it's like, man, I've played this guy that I was talking to. He was saying, man, do you remember this game? I'm like, yeah, I do, but where the hell did I play it? Because I immediately, thankfully, I've got the Steam app on my phone, and I'm like scrolling through, and I'm like, I don't have that game on Steam. Where the hell did I play it? Most of the games the guy was talking about, I actually had or bought on the Xbox 360.
Oh,
but there's one called The Dishwasher, which is it's a bloody game, and it's a side scroller where you're killing vampires.
Nice.
And the other one is you're different members of a band, and it's by the same company, so it's bloody and horror inspired. It's called Charlie Murder.
It sounds very appropriate.
It's a fun game, and I might be streaming one of those games on Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. I meant to stream this past Sunday, but fun fact, after going to a convention and driving back home, I was feeling a little bit fatigued. So I sat down. I sat down on the couch after thankfully eating dinner. I sat down on my couch and decided to watch a little bit of TV, and I woke up at 5:30.
Nice.
I think I sat down on my couch about 7:30, and then I was awoken, or I woke myself up at 5:30.
Sometimes that's just what needed to go.
Apparently, I really didn't have any say on that. Oh, by the way, if you were at Chattacon, you were wondering who the individual was that was helping me. That would be my amazing cousin that jumped in. His name is Thomas. It was his first ever convention, so it was a really nice, easy convention to go to. And we got to use the new camera.
Did it work?
Oh yeah, beautifully. The only issue that we ran into with the camera is that if you're on the Chromebook, there's no proprietary software to download the videos off of the cards. And you can't do it directly from the camera to the system. So I had to run out and get a SD card reader. But other than that, and also it took a buttload long-ass time to take it off the SD card. But, I'm sure that I could figure out a quicker way to do it, or, just buy some extra SD cards so I could do all that I need to do and not really have to slow down until I actually do the video rendering, which once again, I have one interview that I'll be posting once I give the interviewee the early copy to make sure that I get everything right, and then I'll also be posting 3 panels
Sweet.
from Chattacon. So
Nice.
be on the lookout for that within probably the next week. I think my schedule kind of settles down, so I'll have a little bit more free time to get all those out. But this week has been nuts.
So
You know,
what was your favorite Chattacon panel?
you know, actually, I think my favorite one was actually one that there was only, I think I might have been an attendee and maybe 3 panels that I didn't record, but there was one that I did record, and it had to do with young adults and basically adolescent books and how to get kids into reading those books. And that was kind of interesting because there was individuals there that have written stuff for I mean, the guy had written for like Marvel, he'd written for DC. He's made a bunch of more graphic novels around classic stories like Rapunzel and Red Riding Hood and different things like that, which was really cool. So I highly recommend catching that one once I've actually rendered it.
Cool.
Yep. But other than that, I mean, it's just a really fun, laid back convention. It started Friday at 3:00 and went till Sunday at 3:00. So whatever that is, my math does not want to work right now, but it's about, I don't know, 2 days worth.
That's 48 hours.
Yeah, so 48 hours. Yeah.
There you go.
With small little breaks for everyone to go to sleep.
Slave. It's not. I thought it was 48 straight hours.
Dear God, no. I've seen those type of conventions, and they are conventions that you better have nose plugs because it gets smelly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever go to a convention, there's this wonderful thing called deodorant. Use it.
You mean just go drive by, axe spray everyone as you run around at full speed and just sprayed the whole place down?
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Give a nice little flavorly smell to everyone.
Just hand out those. Go talk to whoever makes the. Go talk to an Old Spice rep. Get a bunch of samples of their deodorant and just start handing them out at conventions.
Nice.
And then maybe even add a pamphlet on how to apply it, just in case. You never know. But just one more thing about Chattacon. One of the most amazing things about Chattacon, this is why I think that this is going to be a convention that I keep coming back to, is that in their closing ceremonies, they're like, "Thank you for everyone coming." Give a shout out to the guests of honor, and also, okay, what went well, what didn't, anything and everything, go. And so, oh my God, they're open to feedback. They're willing to change the convention to make it better for those who attend. What a concept. I mean, I found out that there's a certain convention that I am not going to be invited to anytime soon, but I am not the only one. There are several people at Chattacon that are not invited to that certain other convention.
I actually read a book related to that called Radical Candor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because it's actually about how to give feedback. Because there's basically like 4 different quadrants of giving the feedback, but doing it basically without not being nice about it, but basically giving it without being a dick.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting where it talks about the idea of like giving the feedback or being able to have those conversations with people, but being able to do it in such a way where it comes off as basically, positive criticism versus just antagonism.
Right. Well, I think it also another.
So there is a way of doing it, and there are books about it. Maybe I'll get what you want for Christmas.
I know how to do it. It's just.
But obviously, based on the recipients, I don't know because you have a history of this.
Okay. Well,
it's not happened just once.
But one of those conventions, we ended up being really, really good friends in the end because they figured out that I'm just trying to help make the convention better by giving suggestions.
But that was after the fact. I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay. So it was after the first 2 times I went to the convention.
Here.
Look, there are some people who are open to change to make things better, and then those individuals who are only interested in how much money can we make and how can we make it damn near impossible to give out any free badges. So
it's all about the moonies, sir. I want the moonies.
And to be totally honest with you, I think that that's the kind of convention that I want to avoid, because I think that you'll get the major superstars, but it's just to rack in the money. You really don't Jesus, Freudian slip there. You don't care about the actual attendees. You just want to make sure that not only do you get all your money back, but you get more. There's a certain convention that Zelius named earlier in the podcast that follows that, because I actually ran into the co-founder of said convention, and he left simply because it became all about politics and making as much money as possible. So, there you go. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I'll definitely be doing MumbleCon. I still haven't decided about doing a fan table or not. Going to Chattacon, I did not have a fan table, and I could definitely see it definitely gives you more mobility, but then I can't get the word out to audience members because there was no buttons or social media cards handed out.
You should carry around you could get like one of those waist straps that has like a giant flag sticking up with a big Alt Confucian banner coming off your head.
No, thank you.
I'm just saying, I've seen them.
Oh, I know, I've seen them too, but I'm old enough where just carrying around the camera on my back for long amounts of time is going to require me to see a chiropractor. So putting additional wind resistance.
What I'm hearing is you need to bring around some young unpaid labor to carry around these equipment for you.
Possibly.
I'm just saying. Sounds like an opportune reason for some youngins to go.
You never know. All right. I think we've basically covered every topic. Unless Zelius, you have any closing thoughts?
So do you actually play any video games this week?
I did not. The extent of what I did outside the convention was just read. Oh, which reminds me, there is an amazing book series. It's called The Secret Seven. I highly recommend. I don't remember the author off the top of my head, but I highly recommend it. If you are a Kindle Unlimited user, you can get the entire series from Kindle Unlimited for free.
The Secret Seven by Enid Blyton?
I think so. I'll just click on. I'm going to click on this. Whoops, that would be Zelius's thing.
The Secret Seven are siblings: Peter, Janet, Jack, Barbara. Nope, different.
Different
not
one.
Not the same Secret Seven.
Hold on. Oh my secret.
How many Secret Sevens are there?
Apparently,
because this Secret Seven came out in 1949, so I don't think it's the same one.
Nope, it's not that one. It is about the same number of books, though. So, dang it. Hold on.
I'm so confused. How many Secret Sevens are there?
No. There's another one. I swear to God, there's another one. Have I been giving everyone the wrong thing? Oh my God. Seriously?
What is going on? I don't understand.
Hold on. I'm gonna go.
The seven is a lie.
I'm going to go back on Amazon. I'm going to go to my Kindle, see what I think, because I still have Kindle Unlimited.
I think you're lying.
Shut up, man. Wait. Where the hell is manage content and devices? I swear to God. No. Yeah. Okay. The Secret Seven, Joseph Daniel.
No, it's Enid Blyton. I'm telling you, I'm reading it right here.
Here, hold on. Bam. That one.
That is some definite copyright infringement of a title.
Oh Lord, no.
That is definitely not the same Secret Seven. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. So ignore the first one, ladies and gentlemen. The second one is the one you want. Anyways, and once again, that's Secret Seven by Joseph Daniel, which came out. I don't remember. Let's see here. That entire set came out last year, August 26th. So I highly recommend it. Anyways, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelia, it's been a pleasure giving everything to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. And we're out. And Charlie will need to go to bed soon because, dear God.
Are you going to pass out and die?
I don't know. I might. So I did Chattacon Thursday through Sunday. Came back. Monday I had what the hell did I do? I don't even remember what I did on Monday. That shows you. Tuesday from 8 until 5 was the first day of the second wave of Agile training. And then Tuesday night, it turns out that, so this past Saturday, I coach boys basketball, and we had to postpone the game because we weren't going to have enough players, and also I was going to be out of town. So I had put out to the other coach, hey, let's try to do it during our practice. And I reached out to the guy who runs the league. I was like, we're going to try to do it during practice. Never heard anything back from that guy. Well, both teams showed up basically in their uniforms. So we're like, you know what? We're going to do it. We got the scorekeeper thing out. We had a coach or a parent from each team call like fouls or basically referee on each side. And then we played the game.
Nice.
So we had that, and then yesterday was another the second day of Agile training, which we only had 2 days to do it in, and then we had to take a test at the end. I got 100 this time.
There you go.
Picked up the kid, delivered him back home, got a haircut, came back home, ate a quick dinner, had a basketball game at 9:00. Got back home, went to bed, woke up, dropped the kids off at the bus stop, and then was basically in a meeting most of the morning until after lunch with some load tests. And then here we are. So Shazam.
So is your employer paying for your Agile training too?
Yes, they did.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. It was through my employer. So
cool. Very nice.
I wish that I could do the next class, but the next class is basically strictly for leadership, and I'm not in that kind of position. So
fair enough.
But it was still an interesting experience. But I'm just not in a position to even ask for this to be implemented, but it's good to know.
But the problem, like, if done correctly, all employees, regardless of being in leadership or not, should have all of the Agile training. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in leadership when done correctly. That's kind of the whole point.
Right. That was the first two pieces.
Yeah.
The third one, I think, is more about getting leadership to buy in to agile.
But I mean, there's more agile training that is not related to leadership.
Right. No, there is. Absolutely. There's like the
Yeah.
certification stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. They're just not doing that with your employer. All the other,
No.
I don't even know what belts there are. They're not doing the other stuff through your employer right now.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
anyways.
That makes sense.
Anyways, yeah. Oh, since I have Amazon open, let me tell you, Blankenship. BL Blankenship was the guy that I was nerding out with he's the author that I was nerding out with at Chattacon, and he's got a book called God Walks the Dark Hills, Book 1 and 2. He is how do I describe this? He's more of a like gothic or gothic horror western type of writer. So he wrote, like, he's even done like a couple of short stories around what if John Wilkes Booth was a time agent who had to jump into other realities to assassinate Abraham Lincoln.
There was an author this is years ago. I read his books.
Mm-hmm.
Lovebird or Love something. I feel like it was his name.
Mm-hmm.
He has a ton of alternative history books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there weren't any majors involved. But it was like, all the alternative history stuff. It's a huge genre.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name now. It's like Love something, I think, but that was a long time ago that I read those books.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyways, I think we're going to end this stream. I'm going to talk to Zelius for a second, and then I will be back Sunday to stream a game. Like I said, it's probably going to be, let's see if I actually have it on my recent list for Steam so I can actually just tell you the full name. The Dishwasher Vampire Smile or Charlie Murder, or another game that was recommended to me, Choo Choo Charles. So it's going to be one of these horror-themed games because I'm feeling like that's going to be where I'm going to go. And then, of course, the game that is currently early access playthrough is The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle, Episode 1. And then I'll also get Episode 2 up for all you amazing people who are patrons soon. So you guys will have 2 playthroughs to mess around with before the general public.